all you have to do is Control O, hit enter, and exit out of that. So now let's go to back to our website that we created. Again, we can refresh, and again, you don't see the top of the browser, but I'm hitting the refresh. So now we're going to go to that info file. So what this does is tells us that we successfully installed our PHP, and this is our version that we actually installed, and this is the server that we installed it on. So that PHP info command allows you to pretty much pull every configuration that you have on your web server for PHP. So we're getting there pretty good. So the next piece is creating our WordPress database. So that command is mysql-u root-p for our password, of course. Alright, so you'll know that you're actually in your MySQL prompt because you'll see a different line here for you to actually type your commands in. So these commands are fairly simple. We're going to create our database. And as you see, it says query OK, one row affected. So it actually created this database. So it actually inserted a row into our database. So that is a good message. So now we're going to actually create a user. We're still going to use root. And then we're going to give it a password. So as you see this command right here, from when we added the security to this allows it to give you an error message literally if you try to use root to do this. So we will try that again and come up with another user. We'll say cjones12. So this says the query is actually okay now. So the next command is we're going to grant access to that user. All right. So this query is actually successful as well. We just have to remember, again, what you changed your, or what you use for your username and password for this database creation, because we're going to have to pass all this to our WordPress instance. So what we're going to do is flush our privileges here. Again, you'll have your OK query, not like the error that we received earlier. And then we're going to do our exit command. So now we have our web server, we have our PHP instance, we have our MySQL, and we have our WordPress database created. The next piece is literally just getting WordPress from the internet, and we're changing directories to the temp directory, and we're concatenating this wget, and this is the website that we're actually getting it from. We're getting the latest tar. So it shouldn't take too long to download. That was really quick. So the next command that we're going to issue is we're going to uncompress that tar file. Now that we have that tar file uncompressed, we're going to move that tar file to our HTML folder. So we're going to cp, copy, recursive, WordPress, and this is the folder that we're going to put that in. So that seemed like it was really quick, but trust me, it actually happened. The next thing that we need to do is change a little bit of permissions for that, so WordPress can actually run. So we're going to use chmod for that. And what we're going to do is make a sub folder for a WordPress instance on the web server. So we can add actually multiple instances of WordPress installs if we wanted to. So we're going to make a directory, and we're doing this in the website directory. It's going to be called WordPress. And this is going to be for our upload files. And we're going to do a chmod for that as well. So let's go to our web server, actual web page here, and then we're going to do, so our IP that we were assigned because we're local, and we're going to do /WordPress because that's our instance that we're actually in. So this is your welcome page to your WordPress instance. But I want to pause right here because there's actually a little bit more that you probably would probably want to do. So if we go here back to our antlets, if you go here to YouTube, that's the antlet that we created. If you create a snapshot of this, and we're going to call this YouTube WP, and we're going to create a snapshot. So what we've just done was we created our own template for WordPress now. So now if we wanted to make another WordPress instance, we no longer have to go through all of those steps. We can just create an antlet from this snapshot here. So if you see this little arrow here, if you click that arrow, it says create antlet from this and create template from this. So a template is something that will show up when you're actually creating a new antlet on the dashboard screen. But you can also create an antlet straight from this without even adding it as a template, without even going to that extra step. And what that does is allows you to rapidly create WordPress instances. So let's jump back to our WordPress page, setup page here. We'll say let's go. And this information, again, remember, is very important. And I hope you know, when you're doing this, you actually kept note of what you've called these things. And we're going to leave this on localhost because that's literally the server that we're on. And you can change the table prefix if you like, but again, it's kind of default WordPress, so you don't have to. So we're going to go to submit here. So there's one more step that we actually needed to do. So we're going to run this installation now. So it says it's unable to write to the config file because that config file does not exist with a fresh install. So you can create one manually or paste the text into there. So what we're going to do is paste this text into that config file. Literally everything that it gave us. Again, this is why you're going to like Nano. Alright, so now we need to go into a WordPress folder. So we're looking for a file, and there is a file called wp-config sample.php. We can make one though. So we're going to do nano without that sample information there, and we're going to hit enter. All we have to do is just paste that information that was on the web page. It says, hey, you can create this. We'll do a Control-0. We'll hit enter, Control-X, and we're going to go back to our page. Now it says once we've copied this, we're going to run our installation. And it still says we actually need to create this. Be back momentarily. Let me see. I might have to rename this file. Alright, so deleting that file actually worked. So what we're going to do is install now. We're actually here at the site name. We're going to call this YouTube. I'm going to give it a password. And something simple. And it says very weak. Again, this is just for test purposes. You should leave what WordPress actually provides you because it's fairly secure. And you gotta say confirm weak password. And we're gonna install WordPress. So we have our WordPress instance set up. We're gonna go ahead and log in. Alright, so now we're in our WordPress instance, and this is all from that actual Antsle. So you can create backups of this if you like. That's an option within the Antsle. So we actually have our final number here. So see, this is actually used on disk, 8.94 megabytes just for this snapshot. So you can literally create another server from this snapshot without using a lot of space at all. So we can go here to the backups as well, and we'd actually do a backup. That would actually take the Antsle down in some cases to do that backup instead of a live snapshot backup. So here in your WordPress instance, literally you have your web page. You can go to view site, and this is your WordPress instance site. This one you can actually forward from your router, and you can actually point it to a literal domain name with port forwarding. That may be another video that we'll go over some other time, but the biggest thing is this is how easy it is to create these Antsles. So if we wanted to, from that snapshot, we would literally be able to create a new Antsle from there. And now that we have a little bit of time, I'll even take you there to show you that. So you can go here and you can create an Antsle from this. You're literally right here, and you can give it a name. It gives it an IP, and you can literally say create Antsle, and you literally have another WordPress instance. And that's within maybe minutes of a small configuration, based on the user information, of course, that we currently had. So for security reasons, you probably want to go in and change those things. But if you want to pump out WordPress instances, this is how you do it with the Antsle. This Antsle is probably one of the best things for developers, just because it gives you that ability to create servers of pretty much anything. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you had any questions, comments, concerns, or even having issues getting the how-to document from the website, be sure to leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video to let me know if these things right here are actually useful for you, so I can keep hammering these out and getting you guys this great content.